RESPECT. Find out what it means to me. This week's religious studies lesson will be about respect. What does a prefect, a nurse, a police officer, a pastor, parents, and a grandparent or the elderly have to do with respect? Stay tuned and I'll tell you more. Our objectives for this lesson include 1. Define the term respect and list 4 people you can show respect to. 2. Explain 3 ways to demonstrate respect to someone. And 3. Analyze the story of David and King Saul to identify how David demonstrated respect for King Saul. The big question is, what is respect? The Oxford Dictionary defines respect as due regard for the feelings, wishes, or rights of others, or as a feeling of admiration for someone or something as a result of their abilities, qualities, or achievements. The web displays who or what we can show respect to. We can show respect to an environment. We can show respect to money. We can show respect to time. We can show respect to other people's property. We can show respect to buildings. We can show respect to ourselves. We can show respect to animals. We can show respect to people. This week, we will focus on how to show respect to people. Do you remember the slide with the photos of a prefect, a nurse, a police officer, a pastor, parents, and a grandparent or the elderly? These are all examples of people we can show respect to. Maybe you can think of some more people we can show respect to. I challenge you to create a list of other people you can think of. Take a look at the sign. What does it mean to you? Respect must be demonstrated or shown. When we give respect to others, then we are respected by others. Respect is a two-way street. To have respect for authority is to honor or submit to those in leadership positions. Consider the photo of the prefect, a leader within a school organization. Consider the photo of the nurse, a leader within a healthcare system. Consider the photo of a police officer, a leader within a government system. Consider the photo of the pastor, a leader within a religious organization. Consider the photo with the parents, leaders within a home. Consider the photo of the grandparent or the elderly, a leader within the community. When we don't show respect to others, we are being disrespectful. Here are 7 ways to show respect. R. Respond. Respond using good manners. Yes, ma'am, no, ma'am, please, and thank you. E. Engage. Engage others in activities. Do not leave anyone out. S. Speak. Speak to others in love, remembering that we all have feelings. P. Protect. Protect the vulnerable, babies and elderly, by giving them assistance when needed. E. Emulate. Emulate respect so that others will follow. C. Choose. Choose your actions carefully to not hurt others' feelings. T. Treat. Treat others with kindness no matter if they are younger or older than you. Can you think of other ways you can show respect? Listen to this Bible story, hide and seek. As you are listening, think of this focus question. How does David demonstrate respect to King Saul? David and his men moved from one hideout to another. Someone always gave news of his whereabouts to Saul and the king, and his soldiers would chase after them. While David was lying low in dry desert country, Saul and his men surrounded him. An urgent message arrived in the nick of time, warning the king of a Philistine attack. Saul and his men hurried away, and David was saved. David and his men moved to the hills. They were pitted with caves in which they could hide. A spring of fresh water gushed in the ravine below. It was hard for Saul and his fully armed soldiers to move up and down the hillsides as nimbly as David and his fellow lightly armed men. One day, David and his men crouched at the back of a deep cave where they were camping. They could hear Saul's men coming near. Saul himself stepped inside the entrance of the cave. The bright sunlight concealed the shapes of the men hidden in the darkness beyond. "Kill him," whispered David's followers, but David shook his head. When the king was not looking, David crept noiselessly forward and cut off part of Saul's long robe with his sword. Then he withdrew quickly into the shadows. Saul left the cave, unaware of what had happened. On a sudden impulse, David raced after him. "Your Majesty," he called after the retreating figure of the king. Saul turned in astonishment, and David bowed low. "You must believe that I do not want to harm you," David pleaded. "I could have killed you just now if I had wished. Look." He held up the piece of Saul's robe. Saul was ashamed, and tears rolled down his cheeks. "I have wronged you," he admitted. "One day I know you will be king. Be kind to my family when that time comes." Saul went sadly home. David knew that in spite of his tears, Saul's feelings towards him had not really changed. The chase would soon begin all over again. Let's review the Bible story. Who are the characters in the story? In the story, we have Saul and his soldiers and David and his men. What is happening in the story? Saul and his soldiers are trying to kill David and his men. How does David show respect to King Saul? Instead of listening to his friend, who wanted David to kill King Saul when he had the chance, David decided not to. When King Saul left the cave, David shouted out to him and showed him the piece of the robe he was able to cut off without King Saul knowing. David's respect for King Saul as a leader causes David to spare King Saul's life. Let's conclude this lesson. Respect is defined as the due regard for the feelings, wishes, or rights of others. Respect is also a feeling of admiration for someone or something as a result of their abilities, qualities, or achievements. There are many people we can show respect to. Some examples include a prefect, nurses, a police officer, a pastor, parents, and the elderly. Respect must be demonstrated or shown. There are many different ways to show respect. Here are 7. Respond using good manners. Yes, ma'am, no, ma'am, please, and thank you. Engage others in activities. Do not leave anyone out. Speak to others in love, remembering that we all have feelings. Protect the vulnerable, babies and elderly, by giving them assistance when needed. Emulate respect so that others will follow. Choose your actions carefully to not hurt others' feelings. Treat others with kindness, no matter if they are younger or older than you. When respect is not demonstrated, then we are being disrespectful. Respect is seen in the Bible story Hide and Seek with King Saul and David. David demonstrated respect for King Saul as a leader by sparing his life. David showed respect for King Saul's life, even though King Saul wasn't showing respect for David's life. David shows us how we must respect those in authority.